of course, we did cover BabyMarine earlier yesterday in the previous group. Did cover him against Skillets alongside, yeah, just his match against Skillets and his match against Showtime as well. We saw that Skillets was able to pop off in the early to mid game. Skillets was much more aggressive, and BabyMarine had a hard time against the aggression of Skillets. Meanwhile, in the late game, BabyMarine, he showed that he could hold his own against Showtime. It was a much more impressive, longer and later game between the two players. But what do we have for us here in this fresh best of 3? Let's go. Spawning in the bottom hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the Canadian Protoss player. We have the red Protoss with Basilisk. It is Trigger. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Italian Terran player. We have the blue Terran for Streamer Zone. It is BabyMarine. Let's go. One moment. Okay, we're good. We're back. Sorry, it's just getting very, very hot here. Again, we're deep in the Australian summer, so it's just opening up the doors, opening up the windows. Oh, we're good. We are good. From here, again, we're going to be settling in. We did see a bit of variety out of BabyMarine last time we did cover him, both against Showtime and against Skillets. But we'll see how Trigger does kind of set the pace here. As we do have an economic opener. Racks expand, we do see Trigger being as annoying as possible, delaying the CC, as that is going to be a 460 CC timing here. So quite delayed, or by a couple of seconds. Cheeky start out of Trigger. Behind this, going for the gate into expand into Cybercore. From here, going into attack of choice. Should be a Twilight Council out of Trigger. Technically, we could see a Stargate or a Robo, but those openers are very niche. So we're leaning towards Twilight Council Blink and towards a Gateway Count. Here's what we're expecting. BabyMarine is looking for a way in. Meanwhile, Twilight Council opener out of Trigger. No surprises there. Getting into his tech, getting into his upgrades. Technically, there are some builds where you can go fast charge, but I would expect to see that on smaller maps. Maps like Tourmaline, maps like 10,000 feet. Early charge builds and early charge timings can really take advantage of smaller maps. But here in Winter Madness, we expect Blink. Technically, there's some like weird Glaive Ball-ins you can go for, which are also very rare, and they're also kind of on the table, but nah, Trigger, he does go into Blink, throws down the Gateway, so far playing standard. Likewise, we see the BabyMarine, he didn't really invest too heavily into Reaper Hellion, made one Hellion, one Reaper. He can have somewhat of a map presence, but for the most part, BabyMarine, he's going to be chilling back at home, building up his army before getting to his eventual, I was going to say drop play, but no, we get the add-on swap into either Banshee or Raven. Robo's going to be thrown down. Robo on 2 bases before the 3rd. Banshees are on the way. Currently, both players are in the dark. Oh, going into Hyperflight Rotors. Okay, I'm curious if this is a fake out, or if we do intend to commit and going to Mech. Again, Mech is not unheard of against Protoss. We still do see it. It's not, maybe it's, I wouldn't say it's a common build, but we see it like maybe once, twice a week sort of thing at the highest level. From players like Bjorn, players like Clem, they sprinkle it into a series. Bio. Never mind. Bio's on the way. Now, Hyperflight Rotors, this is a style that rose in popularity over a year ago. No, around a year ago. Around a year ago in this matchup. If you remember, the reasoning for this is, one, of course, the upgrade got buffed. It's now a lot more accessible than it used to be. So it became a more viable option to go for harassment. It's very common to see a robo. As you can see here, there's a robo here for trigger. It's very common, even without scouting, to get detection and to get observers out. So cloak isn't as ideal, it isn't as viable, it's not as amazing as it used to be. Because of that, going into high-flight rotors does mean that you don't waste resources on cloak, you have a little more micro potential, and with the control you can actually get a lot of value out of this, killing a bunch of workers throughout the course of the game. We actually saw this rise in popularity before the patch hit, and then the patch hit, which made it more accessible. But even before the patch hits, like players like Clem, Maru, Beyond, like they were already like incorporating it. As many as they get across the map, remember 2 ranges, they one-shot probes. It's gonna be 5 probes already going down. Nice damage here out of BabyMarine, gets into the main, and finds more damage. And again, it's all about that speed. All about that control, getting up to 10 probe kills. Ooh, cloak does, sorry, Blink does finish. And one Banshee goes down. The other does get away. And again, this one Banshee can still threaten those mineral lines. Trigger still stuck in home, 10 probes going down. Well worth it here for BabyMarine. Good start for the Terran. Good start. I might have to cut my hair. It's getting a little bit too unruly for the summer, papi. It's getting hot. Oh, hello. Now BabyMarine, he's getting a 3rd CC. So 3rd CC is on the way, so it's building up into a 3rd base, throwing down 2 more racks, is getting to a 5-rack setup. We're settling into the mid game, at least we're trying to. BabyMarine, he slips out once again. He's boosting across the map. Trigger turning everything back around to defend. Back to his natural. And Trigger does spot the drop. Okay, did spot with the pylon. Trigger's aware. Ooh, does he get a full medevac? Barely not. As BabyMarine pulls out. But again, this is at least forcing the army all the way back home, allowing BabyMarine to expand. Oh no! As the full medevac goes down. Ay, ay, ay. Does he get both? Thankfully not. But still crazy damage. BabyMarine has to get the hell out of there, and back at home the CC is done, and it is floating over. Ah, but Trigger's in position. He's here to punish. Ideally, he wants to catch the army. And Colossus moves in. My shots on the Zealots. Oh my god, targeting the Colossus. Yeah, massive connections. Colossus goes down even. Ay, ay, ay. Colossus does fall. Massive pickoff. And BabyMarine, he holds, he defends. Takes a very nice fight and claims his 3rd. Claims his 3rd base. Trigger is hurting. Again, just really nice target firing there by BabyMarine. Retarding on the Colossus. That's Trigger does commit. It does try to commit in here, but there's plenty to defend. At the same time, this is really just a distraction. Zealots do get into the middle line. Damage is being done. Okay, better run by here by Trigger. But he can't lose the main army. Oh, no! Ah, he's going to commit. Yeah, he's going to commit. He's going to lose everything. The Colossus go down. The Stalkers go down as well. And Trigger's being torn apart. That drop from earlier goes back in. Denies mining at the 4th base. And the aggressive posturing from Trigger just was not worth it in the end. Just wasn't worth it. 7 probes go down to the 8 dead SCVs. Ay, ay, ay. medevac is going to be cleaned up. But again, BabyMarine, he's still looking solid. Catching up 3 more Stalkers. Oh my god. Yeah, late reaction, late blink. 3 Stalkers just got picked up. Once again, expensive losses here for Trigger. Trigger getting falling apart here at the seams. Losing 10 Stalkers already and 2 Colossus. Oh my god. Now from here, BabyMarine, he's not really pressing his advantage. This is something that we do speak on when it comes to PvP quite often here, but it has been seen quite often actually, where if a Terran player gets momentum, if they get a lead, but if they overextend and take a bad fight, they can very quickly lose that lead. So we have seen a lot of Terran players with this kind of mantra where it's like, okay, you get ahead, stay home, get a 4th base, macro up, turtle up, get into Liberators, get into Ghosts, get into Mass Vikings, throw down planetaries, sensor towers, missile turrets. That's kind of the quote-unquote correct way to play TvP. Even if you get ahead, even if you start winning fights, it is difficult to justify moving out across the map. So that should be what we're seeing here, is BabyMarine just hunkering down, defending, and building up. Now, it's a bit of a give and take, because this does mean that Trigger, even though he was vulnerable for quite some time, he's being given time to rebuild. Rebuild the Colossus, the Disruptors. And to still have that back and forth. Sensor Tower's finishing. 4th base is on the way. At the same time, there's a War Prism outside of the natural. There's 1 turret in position, but that will not stop the Prism. Oh, he's going in. He's getting ready for it. Okay, does deflect. War Prism is deflected. Trigger does attempt to deny the 4th, and so far it does. Once again, Trigger, he cannot push further in. If he does, he will lose the Colossus again. So be careful. And it does have to be careful. Zealots, they do slip into the natural. BabyMarine, he does defend. Defending well. Likewise, collapsing the Colossus. Nova's a crazy army, no major connections. Colossus are going down. 1 Colossus left, and now there's no more Novas. Yeah, no more Novas, not enough Stalkers either. It's nice, both Colossus. Ay. Once again, Trigger getting bullied. Attempts to Zealot run-bys. BabyMarine, he's ready. Trigger still looking another way in. This one is switching into pure Disruptors, no more Colossus, no Storm either, so it's just pure Disruptor when it comes to the supportive splash damage. Instead of relying on a little more Zealot heavy composition. Novas, they go off. Ooh, forcing friendly fire. More friendly fire more than anything, really. Novas aren't connecting. Yeah, nice spread, nice splits. At the same time, the Zealots, oh my god, they get the mineral line, Jesus! Zealots, they slip in. Yeah, they slip into the middle lines. Planetary is not ready here. Yeah, there's no planetary. SUVs are going down left and right, and Trigger, he's fighting so much damage. Again, when it came to the main fights, BabyMarine, he was all over Trigger, but now he's falling apart. Now he's being pulled apart. Zealots, they catch a reinforcing Ghost. That's 2 Ghosts going down. Catching 2 Ghosts. Novas, they come in from behind. They catch out BabyMarine, and GG gets called. Trigger, he will claim game number 1. GG. Ay. GG, well played. Again, BabyMarine, he was playing so well. He was playing the mid game so well, sniping the Colossus, expanding, getting his 4th base as well. But you saw, unfortunately, he was torn apart. He didn't have the wherewithal or didn't have the attention to morph in his planetary at the 4th base, so there was no planetary. But also on top of that, he was distracted time and time again, allowing for Zealots to pop off. That was not the first time that we saw Zealots get into a mineral line and wreak havoc. GG, well played. So BabyMarine, he just wasn't quite able to keep up with the multi-pronged aggression from Trigger. And with that, we're going to be loading into game number 2, loading into 10,000 feet. 10,000 feet, one of the smaller maps of the map pool. Shorter rush distance to my ground. Let's go. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of 10,000 feet, we have the Canadian Protoss player. We have the red Protoss leading the series 1-0. It is Trigger. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Italian Terran player, the blue Terran representing Streamer Zone. It is BabyMarine. And as we settle into game 2, a big shout out in the chat. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to Big Stick Brewski for the Twitch Prime. Thank you, baby. Thank you. Hope you enjoy the content. Hope you enjoy the casting. Hope you enjoy the StarCraft. Yeah, gracias. Thank you. Bienvenidos. He's got a big stick. Calm down, baby. Calm down. But for now, we're settling in. And again, I was very impressed by BabyMarine last game. Like, he was honestly, again, he had better fights, he had better engagements, he got up to 3 bases very nicely as well. But we also did try to emphasize one of the downsides of the aftermath of him taking a lead, and that was that BabyMarine, he stayed home. Remember, he stayed home, he turtled up, he tried to build up in 4 bases. It did mean that, as we mentioned, Trigger was given time to recover and given time to build up his disruptors and have a comparable army to his opponent. It was still a rough position for Trigger, 100%, it was still a rough position, but he was able to thrive. Just pull apart BabyMarine, go for the non-stop Zealot round buys. Meanwhile, eBay block here by our Terran player, being as annoying as possible. Oh! Getting a little bit more progression, and this is going to be a massive delay here on the natural, only pulling 3 probes. I feel like 4 is the standard. So, big delay here on the natural base. A nice start for BabyMarine. Meanwhile, we do have a bit of an adaptation here as well. Because of the eBay block, the natural base is going to be delayed, so we do have a faster factory. So racks into factory into a delayed CC, again due to the eBay. Oh, hello. The SCV does stick around, does hide here on the right hand side. Now this may be for a rescout, otherwise factory is done. Do we proxy the starport? We tempted to proxy. And there it is. The temptation was real. Yeah, could not resist going for the starport. Now, traditionally, what does this mean? This means a reactored Hellion into Hellion drop across the map. This should be for a medevac to be able to bypass the would-be wall-off here at the natural and go straight for the mineral lines. That is traditionally the approach here. Now, this is a bit of an awkward position. Usually, the starport would be outside of the main base, right? You'd be either here at the triangular location or at the 4th location, or sometimes even a little bit further back here behind some of the creep tumors. This here is an ideal position for a proxy starport. So typically it'd be here on the left-hand side, just because it gives you access to the main base mineral line that much easier, that much faster without being scouted. Here, you have to get through the natural before getting into the main base. So this does give the Protoss player more time to react and a higher chance to scout. Meanwhile, Trigger going for a Stargate. Oh, okay. Stargate open out of Trigger, not Twilight Council. I mentioned earlier that this is a little bit more risky to do on a smaller map. It's quite risky. And we'll see if Trigger can pull this off. Oh no, that's speaking of pulling it off, the Phoenix was on patrol, the Phoenix does scout the starport and the medevac as well. And there's no escaping this. No shot. There's no escaping this. The medevac is going to be hunted down. Boost is available in a couple of seconds. Does boost away. Racing back home. What is the anti-air looking like? We have Marines. Okay, we have Marines to defend. But the medevac is, what, 2 shots away from going down. Uno más. Ooh, and the medevac falls. Ay. So there's no medevac, there's no drop play. Likewise, the starport has to float back home as well. The Hellion drop is just falling on its face. There is no Hellion drop. Likewise, we do see Trigger setting up his wall. We should be walling up soon. Hellions are deflected anyway, and Trigger can now expand. And so this is a much stronger start for the Protoss. We have Macfield accelerators on the way. Okay, I mean, we need as much anti-air as possible. Getting to Macfield. Remember, this is not for mech. There's another there's another Rex. So no mech, just anti-air. And traditionally, the goal here and the role of going into Phoenixes is to be able to gain map control, contain the Terran, and then build up and rush into Colossus. That's usually the go-to here. We can see it's not a rush into Colossus, it's a rush into Charge instead. So going to Charge, Forge, +1 into a Gateway heavy composition. Both are options, both are viable. And we have the answer. So intentionally no Colossus. Not yet. Meanwhile, BabyMarine, he's stuck at home. There's no stim, no upgrades, there's no tech lab on the racks because of the Macfield accelerators. Otherwise, we would have seen an add-on swap by now. So, rough position here for BabyMarine. He's stuck at home for the near future. Oh, actually, he's pushing pre-stim. Okay. He gets spotted. Nice punish. Catching out one of the Phoenixes. Barely does get away though. As Macfield Accelerator is finishing up in 7 seconds. BabyMarine, he commits. Stim just now began. And Charge is ready for this. Wow, just in time. Just now finishing up. Lifting up the Cyclones. Gets 1, 2, gets all 3. Oof. And BabyMarine is just going to be completely shut down. GG gets called, and Trigger, he will take the series 2-0, taking down BabyMarine. GG. Again, a really rough position there for BabyMarine. If you recall, I assumed he was going to stay at home until Stim was ready, which would be late, true, but yeah, he did decide to take a risk, decide to move out. Unfortunately, he was scouted early, and he was also blindly pushing across the map. In my mind, I believe he was hoping it was going to be Phoenix Colossus, which, if you remember, we spoke about how that's very common. It's very, very common to go Phoenix Colossus. That's kind of like the go-to follow-up after a Stargate opener. So it looks like BabyMarine was hoping for that as well. If you recall, when he pushed, that was the first time he saw the Zealots. He didn't know that a mass gateway composition was getting ready. Charge and Zealots are ready earlier than Colossus. So in my mind, I think BabyMarine, he wanted to hit an anti-Colossus timing. The problem is there were no Colossus. GG. GG, well played. With that, he got caught out, he got shut down, and with that, Trigger does claim the series 2-0. And we have one more best of 3 ready for us before we have to delve into the rest of the group and catch up with the standings. Until then, it is going to be Rainer versus Showtime. Oh boy.